Today's show, it's now time for breaking news. No.
All right,
There's nothing Chris will say prior to that.
8, 7,
Show, it's now time for breaking news. Today's guest is a trailblazer, a man who's never been afraid to speak his mind and fight for change. From his work in Congress to his relentless drive to make a real difference, he's built a legacy that's impossible to ignore. His journey has been filled with challenges, triumphs, and moments that have shaped him into the leader he is today. Please welcome the one and only Mr. Alan Grayson.
That was so sweet.
It's so great to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Thank you very much. I very much want to be that person when you try.
I believe you are. Please have a seat. He said he's trying to be that person that I'm describing. You are all that,
I want to be.
say,
I
and
want
a
to be
bag
that
of chips.
person, yes.
So you've been labeled as the Democrats' Donald Trump. What do you think that comparison says about your approach to politics?
Well, I disagree with it. The difference between me and Trump is very simple. He lies constantly, and I tell the truth. We used to have bumper stickers around town that said Grayson Truth. So I don't accept that. I mean, I might be a little bombastic occasionally, maybe, possibly.
What is the word? Did you say, Mr. Bombastic?
A little bit, just a little bit, appropriately bombastic.
Right.
But no, I wouldn't call myself anything related to Donald Trump. He's a pathological liar, a fool, and a crazy person.
So what makes you think people refer to you as the Democratic person in that regards?
I think that people think that Trump is direct. Mm-hmm. What he says, it reflects his mind. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't, quote, pull any punches. I think that to some extent I try to be the same way. You don't have to guess what's on my mind. Mm-hmm.
You just tell it like it is.
I just tell it like it is, right.
So why do
real.
you say he's a pathological liar?
Because he's a pathological liar.
Because he is.
Listen to him. My God, every single thing that he says is a lie.
Wow.
Sometimes it's a lie about this, sometimes it's a lie about that. But it's always a lie.
I hear you.
I mean, what I think he's done is create this sort of clownarchy in the country, or this idiocracy, where all the bad people are encouraged to be really bad.
Unfortunately.
I mean, my goodness, just look at it. He just let off a bunch of tax cheats because he's a tax cheat. I just took a free airplane, a $400 million airplane from Qatar.
Can you just tell us, how is that possible?
It's not. He's going to get caught up. As soon as the Democrats come back into the House or the Senate, he's going to get impeached over it. It's not. It's in the Constitution that you can't do that.
But he seems to want to override it. So let's talk about you.
Right.
You've helped secure over $2 billion for Orlando during your time in Congress.
6 years, right?
6 years. You were in there for 6 years.
Yeah.
So given your track record of tangible results, why do you think you lost the last election? What do you think went wrong, and what will you do differently this time?
Well, I mean, I've been smeared relentlessly. In that sense, yes, there is an analogy between me and Donald Trump, but the things they say about Trump are true, and the things they say about me are false.
You are a lie.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, my God, the head of Fox News put $500,000 into the campaign kitty to smear me the day that I announced. The head of Fox News, Rupert Murdoch's son.
Are you serious?
Yes, the Koch brothers. You remember the Koch brothers?
Yes,
Now it's just the Koch brother. They spent $4 million in one race against me. That's a race I lost in 2010. And then I came back 2 years later with the biggest comeback in the history of the House of Representatives. So you can't keep me down.
You cannot keep a good man down,
Right.
they say. So as a candidate who's been described as abrasive, how do you navigate the line between being unapologetically bold and losing support from voters who prefer a more diplomatic approach?
Do I seem that way to you?
Do I see you seem what?
Do I seem abrasive to you?
No.
Who's saying all these things about
We're
me?
just doing research,
My
and it's
God.
like most of the articles we're just trying to understand.
Well, what do you think?
People have lots
do
of
I
questions.
seem abrasive?
You don't
to you?
seem abrasive
Okay,
at
then.
all.
Then we agree.
You don't seem abrasive, and I do know that our sons went to martial arts together. And you know my cousin, John Lewis. I just
adore
watched
your
a video
cousin.
with
Yes.
you that my cousin actually called you his brother.
That's right. John Lewis called me his brother.
So if you were
is
abrasive, I don't know if he would have said that, but I don't know you personally. We're going to go off of the credibility of a man who is respected by so many people saying that, hey, you're a great guy and you're his brother.
Look, when you're elected, the other side starts to hit you any way that they possibly can. So in my case, after I was elected, they said, Alan Grayson's stupid. I have 3 degrees from Harvard. Alan Grayson is fat. Okay, maybe. I've tried to lose some weight. We're all struggling a bit, I think, on that one, okay?
I think we're all trying to lose a little bit.
Right. Alan Grayson is gay, which is kind of interesting. I have 5 children. I'm not gay, but not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's not true. And of course, Alan Grayson is ugly. So that one I had to give in on.
You stop it.
I'm just telling you what they said about me.
You are too much. They've said a lot about you. I've read a lot before I had to sit down and talk to you today. And one thing also is that you passed more legislation than any other congressman, even under Republican leadership. How do you plan to bring that same level of productivity and effectiveness to the Florida Senate?
What you find is that the people who are elected officials generally are clueless about solving problems unless somebody explains it to them. And this is why I was able to pass 121 bills in my last 4 years in Congress. By the way, Randy Bracey passed 8 in 10 years.
See, I was going to
Ron
get there.
Bracey passed 6
Okay.
in 3 years, none of which have anything to do with anything. One of them was to rename a playground. Okay, so, you know, there is such a thing as knowing the job. And my sense of the job is that the Republicans generally speak only to lobbyists. The lobbyists only want favors. And if somebody comes along who actually knows a thing or two, I mean, I got a master's degree from Harvard in government. If you know a thing or two and you can explain it to them, they're often receptive because they don't want to go back to their district and say, well, I just couldn't get anything done. So that was the secret to my success. I was able to explain to people these are good things that need to be done. Didn't matter if they were Democrats or Republicans.
They listened because you could articulate it very clearly.
121 times, and every single one of those votes needed 30 Republicans to go along with it. Now, you know, there's only 40 state senators, so the numbers are easy for me at this point. It wouldn't be difficult at all. But the bottom line is that they really, many of them, they're not MAGA idiots. Many of them are serious people who actually want to solve problems, and they don't have anybody there who can help them with that. And that's, I think,
So you think
the
you helped
secret
shed
sauce.
light on it more so than any other candidate or person that's been in that position could?
I'll give you an example. The last day that I was in Congress, this was more than 4 months after I'd been defeated. Okay, and I knew I was not coming back, and they actually taken my office away because they do that to people who are leaving. They take your office away.
Oh my goodness.
So I was sitting in somebody else's office the whole time. So we were working on it the last day I was in Congress, and I came up with 4 changes to the bill that increased veterans' benefits. So I went to the chairman of the Veterans Committee the day of the vote, and I said, these are 4 things I think that should be in the bill. He said, what are they? I explained it to him. He said, I have to say, those seem like good ideas.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have any paper on this? So I took out the amendments.
And you had it right
pocket,
there.
I handed it to him, and they were in the bill. I passed 4 pieces of legislation my last day in Congress.
Oh my goodness. Now let me ask you this. You've spoken about LaVon Bracey. You spoke about Randolph. I think it's Randolph Bracey.
Well, they usually speak about each other. It's
Ooh,
family
it's
feud.
been very interesting. I do
Right.
know they're brother and sister. This race is very interesting. So it's a special election, you all. Senator Geraldine Thompson passed away, and so they're having a special election. And Alan Grayson is one of the candidates. Now, you spoke about 2 of the candidates. Let's talk about the other 2. What about Coretta Anthony Smith and Willie Montague?
She's an insurance lobbyist. Willie, he wrote a book crediting Margaret Thatcher, of all people, the wit and wisdom of Margaret Thatcher in his book. I don't know what to say. These people don't live in the same world as I do, nor I think the same world as you do, nor any of your listeners.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, but
So
that's what I
then
see.
what kind of race is this with the kind of candidates that you are running against? If you say, they really don't know what they're doing, what does she's an insurance lobbyist mean?
It means that she went to a hearing in Tallahassee about insurance, and she thinks that qualifies her to be a state senator. I'm puzzled. I mean, I testified before Congress 4 times about fraud and abuse in the government before I even ran for the job. And here's somebody who thinks that she literally is sitting in the audience at a hearing, and somehow that makes her a serious argument for a state senator. I can't see it. Now, I'll tell you why this matters, okay? Because the job matters. Okay, this is not captain of the basketball team, okay? This is different from that. This is our lives, all right? Now, when I was in Congress, I got a hospital, an $800 million hospital for us, for veterans, $1 billion in road improvements. The road that I took coming over here was a road that I got built.
So how does that feel when you ride on this road that you helped get built?
Pretty good, because the traffic was not that bad. And that's why the traffic wasn't that bad. That place was a mess
because it
before.
Expanded.
Yes,
yes,
right. So that's exactly right. So I mean, this is people's lives. The government determines our transportation. Okay, there's no way out. The government determines our transportation. The government determines our water and sewer. Government determines to a large degree our utility bills. Okay, government determines our insurance bills. Government determines to a large degree what we pay for our mortgage. All right. Of course, I could go on, but the point is...
I tell you what, you could go on. I want you to please hold that thought. We have to go to break. We'll be right back. Alan Grayson is here. You don't want to miss the second half of this. For the culture, let's go on that praise break, y'all. so much for joining us. Woo! Welcome back to the Sisaundra Show. I am sitting here with Alan Grayson, and we are talking about the election that's coming up. It's the primary, and it's a special election on June 24th for the Senate seat in District 15. Unfortunately, Geraldine Thompson passed away due to some complications from a knee surgery. And now there are several people running for this seat. We talked about a few of them. I want to go back to Willie Montague, you mentioned that he wrote a book about Margaret Thatcher. Now, he's the only one that's running as a Republican and will go directly to the primary, if I'm not mistaken. So does that put him in an advantageous position?
Yes, although the district voted by more than 30 points for Harris, so I'm not sure that that's a significant thing. Last time the Republicans didn't put up any candidate against Geraldine when she ran against Randy. By the way, Randy lost every precinct in the district, 106 precincts.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm
not surprised.
I want to ask you about somebody we both know, which is John Lewis. Let's
Okay, go ahead. Ask me about Cousin John.
Please tell me about Cousin John, because I love to hear more about John. We were very close in Congress. He endorsed me, recorded videos for me, and we worked together on some things, including the sit-in that I mentioned to you off camera. But you go. Tell us about John.
Well, I will tell you, he was my dad's first cousin.
Yeah.
They've both passed away and they've gone on to heaven. But I would always see Cousin John at our family reunions, or if I went to Atlanta, I would see him there. If I tried to call him on the phone, they would put me through. I'd get to Atlanta, they'd put me through to DC to talk to him, and he always just had wisdom to impart with me. He was very supportive during my run on NBC The Voice, and whenever we did have family reunions, he would just always tell us about the struggle, about having to always get into good trouble. That was always his message for us, is to make sure that we stay in good trouble. And so I'm here today with you in this good trouble. What do you know and you'd like to share with us about my cousin John?
Well, I could go on for hours, but I will tell you that he had a campaign poster, which was his mugshot. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. And the
of
campaign,
him being, when he was arrested.
When he was arrested.
Yes.
And one of several times, and the caption was "Getting into good trouble for 50 years now."
Yes.
That was a beautiful thing. In fact, it illustrates the kind of person that he was.
Yes.
I'll also tell you that I never saw John Lewis upset, angry. I never saw him having a bad day. He was probably the most poised member of Congress
I love it.
I have ever seen in my life.
Well, I will tell you, as his family, we were and still are extremely proud of him and his legacy. His ability to stay calm. Him and my dad were very much like that. My dad was a bishop, and of course he studied theology as well. So they had that calm in them that I think only the Creator could give you in situations like that.
And tribulations.
Yes.
He had been through such misery in his life,
Yes.
all inflicted by others, no self-owns. And I think that gave him strength also. He had been in a place where it couldn't possibly get any worse. So after that, it got better.
Thank God for that.
Right.
Indeed. So let's move on and let me ask you some more questions.
Please, go ahead.
In the light of President Trump's administration, aggressive immigration policies, how do you propose balancing national security concerns with the protection of individual rights?
You have to see the undercurrent. You have to see what comes on when you turn on the closed captioning. And with Trump, it's always the same thing, which is punching down. Trump is always trying to screw people who have nothing already and make their lives worse. And it doesn't matter whether it's the immigrants or the transgendered or whatever. The point is he wants to make people as miserable as possible. And that is not good government policy.
It is not, but did you know him before he was in office? Did you find him to be this person, even if you didn't know him personally or interacted with him, which I did have the opportunity to interact with before he became president?
Well, what did you think?
He has changed a lot, or
Well, he's
the person
senile
that
now.
he's senile now. You are too much. I mean, that may have something to do with it. But let's talk about the recent changes in visa screenings and social media vetting. They have raised major concerns about privacy and discrimination. How do you address these concerns while ensuring national security?
Human decency is how I address these concerns. We have lost our way because we're forgetting our basic principles of common sense and human decency. These policies are appalling. I was talking about one. They took somebody from Southeast Asia, from Myanmar, who came to this country, no evidence that he's an axe murderer or he put an ice pick in anybody's eye or anything like that, okay? He's just here, all right? They took him, they dropped him in South Sudan, which is roughly 5,000 miles from his home in Burma, all right? The minute he gets off the plane, he's a dead man. He's not even going to make it through customs and immigration. They're going to murder him. And they knew that when they sent him there. How does that make any sense?
It does not.
That's treating human beings like, I don't know, lab rats, cockroaches, whatever you want to call it. That's the fundamental flaw with these policies. They don't respect our humanness.
So tell me, what would make you the best choice to be senator?
It's very simple. People's lives will get better. All right? Now, we have a complete failure of the political class, especially in Central Florida. I was telling people earlier today, the reason if you, for instance, itemize your deductions on your taxes, there's a special line that I made sure stayed in there for Florida sales tax deductions, okay? I was paying attention. I saw that it was going to expire. I made sure it didn't. I could give you hundreds of examples like that.
Your eye for detail.
Right, I know what I'm doing.
He knows what he's doing.
I know what I'm doing.
Well,
I use that power in order to make people's lives better. That's what I did for 6 years, and the differences were tangible. When I started, the unemployment rate in Orlando was higher than the statewide average. When I was finished, it was much lower than the statewide average. Okay, that's because I brought $2 billion to the district.
Yes.
All right, $2 billion is $3,000 for every single person in the district. That's the kind of money that I was bringing home.
That's really good.
Right, and I will do it again.
And he'll do it again.
That's
so
right.
let me ask you this. We had some of our viewers send in questions, and we have a question from you, for you. One of the constituents in District 15 would like to know, how can they count on you to manage their lives and the things that impact their lives when it seems to be a challenge for you to have managed your own life, your home, your family, all of those things?
I don't think of it that way. I've raised 5 children who love me under very difficult circumstances. One of them had knives thrown at her by a spouse, and another one was bitten repeatedly. Bitten? It's all in court records, okay? I got through that. I love all my children. They all love me. They're all successful in their own different ways. And that's the story of my personal life. I don't feel like that's a valid point.
Well, I will say this to you. We did read something about your children, and they do speak very highly of you. And I said to my team, I said, listen, if you want to know the truth, you ask the children, because the children will tell the truth.
They ran away from my ex-wife and literally ran away from her and came to live with me, and they would refuse to go back.
Well, I hate the fact that everyone's personal life has to be in the public when you're running for office, but these are questions that constituents want to know, and I appreciate you being open and transparent and sharing your answers with us.
Tomorrow, I am going to my 50th high school reunion.
Really?
4 of my 5 children are coming with me.
Really?
That's right.
That's amazing. Did you
that's a
graduate here in
testament to our
Florida?
love.
Yes.
No, I grew up in New York.
That's right.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you. 50 years? I have my first one I still need to go to.
Well, that's because you're just a teenager, I guess.
You are too funny. So listen, I would love for you to share with us what you would like everyone to know who is going to go in that voting booth and vote for one of 5, 6 candidates, one of which is you.
It's not a vote for me, it's a vote for you. It's a vote for a better life for people in our community, better housing, better transportation, more freedom. I am adamantly pro-choice, and I definitely am, I believe that pot should be legalized. I can't believe that we let this Republican dictatorship get away with taking our own personal freedom away and falling down, just completely falling down, and providing healthcare, transportation, housing, affordable housing, anyway. All the things that the government controls in the state are going to the dogs while they tell us that all of us can buy guns if we want. I mean, seriously, that's not going to solve anybody's problems. I think that what people are looking for above all is somebody's going to help them, and that's me. I will be your friend.
You will be our friend.
I will be your friend.
I love it. Well, I'm in District 15.
Oh.
And we're looking forward to seeing who is going to be the winner. May I ask you, would you commit to doing a town hall with us?
Sure.
With all of the candidates? Yes?
Yes.
I love that.
Sure.
And also, would you tell us, what would you tell the younger you in 10 seconds?
You mean the younger Alan Grayson?
Yes, the younger Alan Grayson.
Be careful who you love.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Grayson, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. To our viewers, y'all have a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. And for the culture, can y'all just please get us out to the
Sure
weekend?
thing.
Thank you so much.
All right, y'all. Come on. And just scan that QR code at the bottom of your screen, because we've got so much more exclusive content for y'all right here only on the Sisaundra Show. Thanks so much for coming by, hanging out on the beautiful Cabarosa set, and thanks for hanging with our amazing guests. So until next time, we'll be right here ready and waiting for you only on the Sisaundra Show.